Yo, what is up, Triumph for Life Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Triumph for Life podcast. I'm your host, Nicky T, Nicholas Trevelyan. Pumped to be here, and I'm pumped you are here. I don't know where you're listening to me. You know, if you're like me, you listen to podcasts, I'm usually on a run or on the treadmill. Maybe you're driving, maybe you have me on in the background, or maybe you're just really dialed into this podcast. Either way, though, I want to make sure and drop you an episode right now that's just near and dear to my heart. It's been coming up with a lot of entrepreneurs we've been coaching. And it's really the concept of how do you make change, right? How do you accomplish big goals? Now, right now, if you're listening to me, you're here because you are an achiever. You want to do more, be more, and have more in some area of your life. But let's say you want to go lose 50 pounds, for example. I'll just make it's just an easy analogy. 50 pounds doesn't happen overnight, right? Losing 50 pounds is countless and hundreds of workouts and thousands of meals, right? It takes time, right? Good things take time. Maybe you've heard the saying that it takes 6 months to build a Rolls Royce and 12 hours to build a Toyota. Good things do take time. Comes with your body, your finances, growing your business, all of the above, right? So how does change happen? Where in your heart and your soul, you want it so bad. You're like, dude, I'm dying to have this goal happen. And, we get inspired. Sure. Maybe you've seen something online or you watched a video, you're listening to this, but you can only hashtag stuff for so long. You can only watch inspiration. You can only consume content for so long. Does that make sense? Motivation and inspiration is fleeting. And this is odd coming from the inspirational guy. I only share inspiration. I share quotes on my Instagram because it does give a short-term, boom, a little, kind of kick in the tail or kind of a kick in the right direction. But after that, how does change happen? That's what we're going to cover right now. There's two ways. One, you have to let go of past mistakes. You have to give yourself grace to start fresh and start over. Now, let me explain what I mean. You have big goals right now, right? I want you to really think of those one or two huge goals that brought you here and that you're working on a daily basis. What are they? I want you to really just vision them and put them in your mind for 1 second. Where are you now and where do you want to be? But is there some area of your life that in that goal where maybe you tried it and fell down on it? Maybe you started that fitness routine in the past and didn't follow through. Maybe you started that diet. Maybe you went to the grocery store. You cleared out your cupboards. You threw everything bad away and you go and you get all this produce. And then 7 days later, you're throwing away the bananas and the blueberries. Guys, I'm guilty of this myself. But what I've developed is this crazy sixth sense. You ever seen the movie Men in Black where they flash the laser and then everybody just starts blank and they have no clue of what happened? I want you to develop that same concept. They teach NFL quarterbacks, okay? Tom Brady, somebody that's awesome out there, right? To develop amnesia. Because in the world that a quarterback is in the NFL, they're playing against world-class athletes. They're going to throw interceptions, right? It's just going to happen. But you can't dwell on that past interception, that past mistake. Does that make sense? So if you tried the fitness program or, we have so many entrepreneurs that follow me here that listen to the podcast too, right? And so maybe you tried the video in the past, or maybe you tried an ads campaign or tried to launch a funnel. It just didn't happen. What I want you to do right now is just take a huge breath and just give yourself permission to start over, to start fresh. I have found that in the art of achievement, and we'll get into the big goals here in a second, is letting go of the past mistakes, things that you tried that didn't work out, just giving yourself grace to start over. Just had this happen in my life too. Guys, we're only human and it's going to happen from anybody that's out there chasing goals and, really trying to achieve big things, which that's you. That's why you're here. So one of the things that I do is if I feel that I'm falling down in some area of business or creating content, or my diets or health or relationships, is I'll acknowledge what it is. Okay. I'll kind of call it out like, okay, cool. So let's use that fitness example. Like, man, I got all the fresh groceries and I just, I got caught up. We were going out to dinner too much or I was swinging through fast food. That's okay. Just give yourself grace to start over. What I always do is I'll pick a date. Okay. So let's say that's tomorrow morning for you. It could be, on Monday morning, whatever that is. And I'll go have an evening to myself where maybe I'll have some fast food. I just did this. We were getting ready to start a new fitness journey in my life. And I felt I had some areas I wanted to level up in. So what I did was I went to In-N-Out Burger. I don't know if you've heard of it, but I freaking love In-N-Out Burger. Got a huge double cheeseburger, some French fries, and a vanilla milkshake. And I came home and I watched me some Netflix and I ate my burgers. And I know that whenever I have a big meal like that, it's a reset because, when we go to bed and we wake up tomorrow morning, when that alarm clock goes off, I now instantaneously can become that person. Does it make sense? You have to allow yourself the grace and give yourself permission to start over. And then you actually have to start over. So that's step one. Now, step two is starting over. So how do you start over? How do you start achieving these big goals? Once you let go of the past, how does it start? Right now. The minute that this podcast ends, tomorrow morning, when your eyes open and your feet hit the floor, you can now become that type of a person. So again, I'll go back to that. I want to lose 50 pounds analogy. No matter what you're working on, it's just such a simple analogy, okay? If you've fallen down on workouts in the past, fallen down in your cardio, fallen down in your meals, could you tomorrow morning start emulating the habits, routines, and the rituals of that person that is fit? Yes. See, the thing that we fall down on so often, we beat ourselves up, is we'll follow people out there on the gram who are 10 years ahead of you. They're already put in the hours. They've already put in the work. But can we learn from them? You might not be able to be there today, and we want it so bad, and I want it bad for you. But what we can do is model the habits, routines, and rituals of that type of a person, of that type of an achiever, right? Of a 6-figure earner, of a 7-figure earner, of a content producer, of a, whatever that is, right? So what you can do tomorrow morning is start becoming that person. I hate the term fake it till you make it. Maybe you've heard it, but what it simply is you identify the things that make that person successful, that are the same habits, right? What do they do? And then do it. So again, back to the fitness analogy. What would that person do? Well, odds are they would wake up and they probably have a healthy breakfast, right? They probably drink a ton of water in the morning. They do cardio first thing in the morning. So could you tomorrow morning by 8 a.m., get up, go on a run and have a protein shake? You absolutely could. How long would that take you? 30 minutes? Less than 1% of your day to become that person. What happens, guys? Here's how change happens and why I was so inspired to get this episode in your hands. Change happens by setting a commitment that is that person that you want to be, then following through on that commitment over and over and over again. And what tends to happen is you start to build trust with yourself. You start to build momentum with yourself. So think about it this way. If you haven't been that person in the past, whether that's in the content you produce, the type of business you want to run, your investments, your relationships, whatever, what you have to do is give yourself grace to start over and then make a new plan moving forward. My dear friend and amazing coach, Dustin Runyon, said this morning on a training I was on. He said, grace plus recommitment puts you back on the path. See, we can't go back and change the past. You can't go back driving through a rearview mirror. Doc and Marty McFly are not going to show up in the DeLorean and say, get in. What we can do is learn from those mistakes, start fresh, get a blank slate, develop amnesia, and then start doing the things that person would do moving forward. And how fast can you do that? You can recommit right now. You could literally recommit the minute that you hit X on this podcast episode and say, well, that's a good point. I'm going to stop beating myself up for that in the past, and I'm going to step into the new person. And how fast can things change? You'd be shocked. You've maybe heard of the 30-day challenge that we have here at the Triumphant Life. I believe you can change your life in 30 days or less by making a clear commitment for the next 30 days to become that person. You haven't been producing enough content, which is what I hear all the time from entrepreneurs. What if you committed to one piece of content per day for the next 30 days? What if you committed to no cheat meals for the next 30 days, no alcohol for the next 30 days, one cardio session, one gym session for the next 30 days? Odds are it's less than 1 or 2 hours of your day, which is like, think about that. Are you willing to trade 1 hour today for the future you? That 6-month now version of you, that 12-month version of you, if you traded 1 hour per day today for the next 6 months, how much do you think they're going to appreciate you 6 months from now? Guys, the time is going to go by anyway. So what we have to do to make big changes is focus on the small daily habits, rituals, and routines that are going to get you there. Once you let go of the past, stepping into that person. Well, Nick, I'm not a 6-figure earner. That's awesome. What would a 6-figure earner do on a daily basis? Because guys, if you knew how to do that, right? If you knew how to get that fit or run a marathon or, become a millionaire, right? Or have that type of cash flow, you'd already be doing it. So you shouldn't know how to do it today. That's the whole point, is you have to go through that growth that somebody who's already there did. Does it make sense? You have to put yourself into those environments, right? But what you can do is start modeling those habits, routines, and rituals of that person. And guys, it takes 21 days to build a habit. Could you imagine 3 weeks from now, 30 days from now, if you hadn't been going on runs and you went and ran a mile a day for the next 30 days, which would take you maybe 20 to 30 minutes. Think about that, 30 minutes. But in 30 days, you've ran 30 miles. Get in your car right now and drive 30 miles and tell me how far that really is. But that's the power of tying your shoes and going on one run per day, one meal per day, one piece of content per day, one video, one sales call, one date night, whatever your goals are. Let go of what you haven't done in the past. Start fresh. Give yourself grace. Recommit to the habits that are going to get you to where you ultimately want to be. And I truly hope that this has added some value to your life. But I want to do more than just some listening episode, guys. I want you to not only consume content, but take action from the content. So what action could you take? Could you pull out a scratch piece of paper right now and jot down, number one, what's been holding me back? And let go of it. Write it down on a piece of paper. Let's say, I'll use that fitness goal again. Yours could be financial, whatever. Grab a blank piece of paper and list out every time you failed at it. I tried this, or maybe the one that's just got you stuck, right? I hear this all the time in business. Well, you tried that business opportunity, or you tried to kind of grow your business before and that didn't work out. Yeah, write that down on a sheet of paper. List out what that felt like. You tried it, you failed. That's fine. Call it for what it is. Then I want you to do this. Grab that piece of paper, throw it in the garbage. Go burn it. They call these journals, a journal that you burn. And I've found so much power by just getting that garbage out of your head. Get the weeds out of your garden, right? Dump it out. Get rid of it. Throw it away. Light that sucker on fire. And then let's step into the new version of you. So step one, list out what was it that held you back? What was it you failed on? Then you're going to grab that, throw it away. And then step two, fresh sheet of paper, the one you're going to keep. What are the habits? What could you do moving forward? What could you do tomorrow to get to where you want to go? And could you do that one activity? Guys, tiny hinges swing the biggest doors. We call it the 5% rule here at the Triumphant Life. The tiniest of things, the tiny hinges swing the biggest doors. Is that eating healthier, going on a run, busting out that content, going live? I don't know what that is for you, but find that one thing that you can do and commit to it every day for the next 30 days. And guys, I hope this helps you. And that is how change happens. Yo, how'd you like the episode? Man, I had a ball. Hitting record on the mic and just sharing my heart and soul with you guys. And, oftentimes I hope you understand I'm not talking to you, I'm talking with you. And a lot of things I'm sharing are things that I'm working on a daily basis. And that's how I've created the Triumphant Life podcast. It's just me and a bunch of friends and achievers out there, whether we've met or not, just sharing with you some stuff that I've struggled with in the past. And me just struggled with beating myself up on certain things and letting go and then stepping forward in those new habits, those new routines, and those new rituals. So I really hope that these 2 steps have helped you. If they have, do me a huge favor. Share this with a friend. Just simply take the recording and share it with them. Leave me a review on iTunes. It would mean the world to me if you got value out of this. To share it with somebody, just leave me a review because I want to help reach more people, and you sharing that will help me do that. And then finally, if there's anything I can do personally for you, a lot of that comes from a one-on-one chat. So you could actually book a call directly with me at callwithnickyt.com. Super simple, callwithnickyt.com. And what it'll do is allow you and I to schedule a one-on-one strategy session just to see where you're at, hear your goals. You and I can meet each other, go over a game plan and a strategy to help you get where you want to go and see if I can add any value to your life. But guys, this has been another episode of the Triumphant Life podcast. I am so pumped you were here and I can't wait to see you on the next one.